I'm going to elect Mark Smith in, and I texted our team.
Bring it on to the minutes then?
Yes, you definitely.
All right, so we're going to be voting on the minutes of April 9th. Are there any discussion, corrections? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I move that we approve the minutes of April the 9th, 2025.
Okay, Catherine seconding. I moved and seconded to approve the minutes. Andre?
Yes.
Maureen says yes. Steve?
Yes.
Mary Rose? Abstain. Phil?
Bill Morris, yes.
Devin?
Yes.
Terry?
Abstain.
Laura?
I'll recuse as well.
Catherine?
Yes.
And Dina?
Yes.
Tyler? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Melissa?
I have not seen the meeting minutes, so I think I have to abstain.
Yeah. All right. It's been approved of April 9th. All right, we'll just need a second for everyone to.
Yes,
Come in.
and Tyler emailed me, while I was in there, I saw that he was having trouble, he's gonna try and join with his phone, so we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
But I think, it got. No, you can. We're small but mighty tonight. All right, I think we're probably okay.
Okay, start off with recognitions.
All right, so I have a few tonight. First, Steve Kelleher, who is our ASLP program director, has been named to the Board of Trustees of Mass Maritime. And so I wanted the Board of Directors to know that because, first of all, because it's awesome and he's fantastic, but also because it continues to bolster our partnership with Mass Maritime, which is so important for our ASLP program. So yay for Steve.
What's his last name?
Kelleher.
Okay, thank you.
And we actually have an ASLP meeting, a parent meeting tomorrow night at 6, a Zoom meeting. And we'll talk about that during program updates, but he's a fantastic individual. And I am so grateful that we have him as part of our team. Yeah, he's great. So that's one. Another recognition, and I'm gonna potentially share my screen so that I can, I just got this press release from Senator Sears' office about a half hour ago. Last Tuesday, we got an email from Senator Sears' office, their legal liaison, Meg Ribas, asking if it was around 9:45, we got the email, by noon, could we give them a list of projects that we may need funding for? And because we've been working with Senator Sears' office and Meg for a while now, our amazing Patrick Murphy already had that ready to go. So we were able to get that list to them by, I would say, 10:30.
Wow.
And we just found out that the Senator Sear put an amendment for the Senate's fair share budget in asking for $175,000 for Cape Cod Collaborative to work on our capital projects. So some of that is for the boiler, some of it it's to address facility repairs. So some of it will, we believe, be the front walkway of the Osterville campus because people trip on it right now, the sidewalk. So $175,000, that's a remarkable gift that it still has to go through committee, but we feel pretty strongly that it's going to go through. They feel pretty strongly that it's going to go through. In addition, and also I'll stop, I just will, I'll send that press release back out to you. Like I said, I just got it. So it's linked in the agenda because I just added it, but otherwise, I'll get it to you. The other directive that Senator Sear put forward was to the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education to study capital needs at regional education collaboratives and to recommend a long-term funding model to address an issue critical to area collaboratives. So as most of you know, we do not use MSBA. Collaboratives aren't eligible or any funding sources related to capital improvements. We served the neediest students in some of the buildings that are not only older than I am, they're older than probably all of us put together. There are buildings from the 30s that our students are not Cape Cod Collaborative, but area collaboratives are serving kids in. And we do a really good job of keeping those facilities up without a funding source. So the fact that they've noticed, we've advocated a lot with MOEC, our state organization. That also passed as part of the Fair Share Supplemental recommendation by the Senate. So I wanted to highlight those things because I thought that they were pretty amazing and that you'd all feel just as excited about it as Patrick did. Yeah, but we all did. So I have one more recognition, but any questions on either of those two things?
Oh, these are in the supplemental budget?
Yes,
Okay,
the Fair
so
Share Act supplemental.
for the current fiscal year that they were working on.
Yes, for FY25. And so just backing up the train a little bit, our legislative breakfast on January 24th, which was held in DY, Senator Sear was there. He sat in the facility subgroup, and that, although he had heard this conversation before, it really seemed to sink in, I think, during that legislative breakfast. And his legislative liaison reached out to us maybe 4 weeks later to ask for more conversation about it. So those legislative breakfasts can feel a little performative at times, but they've really, in my perspective, they've manifested it hugely for us. And I think, I'm just telling you about the collaborative things that were put out there. There were also some really solid municipal and other school-based recommendations put forward as well. So.
Now, I was asking just in the perspective that, and it's good having Julian behind it, where he is in a leadership position in the Senate. But yeah, they'll still, between the Senate and House, have to go through their dance of what ends up in the sup or not.
And we agree and totally see that, but the fact that they put out this press release made us feel pretty hopeful because it would be sort of a real public backtracking, in my opinion. So we got the sense that this was likely, and so it's pretty exciting. Any other questions on those two? All right, Patrick, can you grab the next in the kitchen?
Oh,
Thank you. So there is one more recognition, and it's to our wonderful board chairperson, Maureen Fuller. This is her last meeting with us. And so we wanted to say thank you and congratulate her. So you have been, and I would imagine, Maureen, the hiring of the executive director that you had to do gave you lots and lots of insight into the collaborative, but also time. Now, at the same time, Patrick Murphy and I attended a wonderful professional development class yesterday at MASBO, which was held at Seacrest. Patrick, as you know from last month, was named to the board of directors of MASBO. And this was on artificial intelligence. And it was truly one of the best days that I've spent in a long time professionally. I learned there were so many cool, amazing, not just cool, really time-saving and transformational tools out there. So with that being said, one of the tools we learned about was a tool called Suno. And Suno is a tool that you can put in any topic you want and pick a musical genre, and it will write a song for you. So with that said, Maureen, I know that you saw Cabaret recently on Broadway, so I decided, Patrick made the suggestion on yesterday when we were learning about this, you should do this for Maureen. So we did. So I'm going to play.
Is that the right?
It's called The Final Bow for Maureen. I'm going to play it just through these speakers, so you probably won't hear it at home, but the lyrics are there for you as well. And let's see if I can.
Suno wrote this?
So it goes on. The final bow from Green, and it goes on much longer. I'm going to send you the link to it as well, so you can hear it. I know you all could, but it is funny. And she's got the lyrics right there. So I just wanted to say thank you. I've only been here since January. I don't know what I would have done without Maureen in the 4 months that I've been here. So
Thank you all. It's been my pleasure. I will certainly miss this board a lot, and all the work that is it's gonna be so exciting just to have a strategic plan and all your technology upgraded, there's just so many great things on the horizon and the dog coming.
we'll give you an update on you, and maybe we will make the strategic plan go to music. Who knows? I'm saying. I'm gonna yes, it out. So. Anyone
presented to the public.
Exactly. You gotta catch people's attention.
Yes.
I don't know if anyone else from the board before we go on wants to just say anything before we move forward.
Just we're gonna miss you so much, Maureen. I know I personally will. Having worked with you on the first committee for Hope and you've been invaluable to me. So good luck in thank you on the rest of your journey. But thank you for letting me lean on you during that process.
You have been a joy with whom to work. I have loved your leadership style. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving on.
I make it be uncomfortable, sorry.
You're blushing.
Okay, so the next item is the DESI's response to the annual report, the FY24 annual report. We all keep saying that to ourselves because we keep forgetting that the annual report that we've submitted and they gave us feedback on was for FY24. Okay. So we received strong marks. The only had one recommendation were a partial satisfaction, which was making sure that the FY25 annual report contains progress made towards achieving the objectives and purposes set forth in the collaborative agreement. I will say, I don't know if there are objectives and purposes in the collaborative agreement. But if there are, we certainly will write about them in our FY25 report. But that was more of an FYI for you all than anything else. I also linked in here our current Cape Cod Collaborative organizational chart. I want to thank the administrative team and Gwen Chingos in particular. She put this together on Canva. It's linked in there for you. And the color coding alone is just sort of, I'm not even joking. It sounds like I am, but it's the coolest thing ever. And I just want to thank her for that. I'm going to make another comment on the organizational chart, but does anyone know Avita Richter? VIDARICHTER. If not, I will not. No, Clinton is Vedna. And she emailed me that she couldn't come. Okay, then I am not admitting. Sorry. Twice bitten, once shy. So the organizational chart that's in the packet is as the collaborative exists now. So what we realized is we didn't have one that was really actually pertinent to the current existence. And so this administrative team spent a good, I would say, 2 months teasing this out, playing around with it, making sure it reflected what currently exists. As we go forward and do our strategic planning, you'll see that it will adjust and adapt, but at least for now, it's on our website and it will go in our employee handbook. The staff will have an understanding of who answers to whom, and so will I, because that was really something I was definitely looking for. So you can see you're at the top of the organizational chart. So thank you, and we all sort of follow your lead.
Mine says that my copy is in the owner's trash.
Oh, you know why? Because we got a new one and I relinked it, and so I'll send it out as a separate PDF for you. Okay, but I'll also it was, but we got a new one and I just linked it today, so it may have been. My apologies. I'll do a very quick share of the screen so you can just get a quick image of it. And hopefully you can see it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I said, the colors are
Yeah,
everything.
perfect.
Makes it real easy to just
Yeah.
capture what we do.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
sure. Thanks for letting me know that, and my apologies for the
Don't
link.
worry, don't worry. Don't worry.
Okay. This is just an FYI, but it really is appropriate given Maureen, was saying that she was going to miss working with us. This is the Cape Cod Collaborative's 50th birthday year. And thank you to Julia Bryant for reminding us of that before I started.
So 2025.
2025.
We're kind of late coming into that.
Oh, we got other things we need to do.
We wanted to go.
But our plan is to do sort of some celebrating in the fall around that.
Okay,
And our intention is to put Google, a form out to our staff to see if anyone wants to join a committee to do some planning. And, whether that's an event, whether it's a logo, whether we haven't sort of finalized that, but you all will be invited to participate in whatever it is we do. And if you have ideas of how to celebrate 50 years of the Cape Cod Collaborative, we'd certainly be interested. I have skills, a lot of skills in a lot of areas. I shouldn't say that, but I have some skills in some areas. Planning a 50th anniversary is not among them. So I'm really looking forward to bringing in the team who will be good at this. But it's important. That's a long time. That's a big deal. And I in particular want to make sure that we're honoring the staff we've had over the 50 years and the students we've served and the families we've helped. And I think that's really important. So we hadn't mentioned it until now because we sort of brought it up and then it got busy with other things. So I just wanted to put that out there as something to look for. It's coming.
I think it would be nice if we could get some press also.
Yes.
Because we need for people to know that we're here and what we do and that this is available.
Yeah. And I don't know about the geographical spread of other collaboratives, but if you think about it, I mean, we're what, 70 miles from Plymouth to Provincetown? Is that about right? I don't know if other collaboratives, I mean, maybe in regional one. I don't know. To me,
We don't want to forget Martha's Vineyard and
And the island.
they're included in that 60.
okay.
That
Thank
stretch.
you.
I mean,
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, and the fact that we have 2 islands in our group, yeah. I think we should publicize that too.
Yeah, and I think the lower Pioneer Valley, like some of the Berkshires might have some wide geography as well, but certainly there are 24 area collaboratives, and I would say we are at the top of the list in terms of our just geographic reach. So yes, and again, there's been, I say I'm only 4 months in, but there's been a lot of amazing stuff that's gone on under the banner of the Cape Cod Collaborative, and I think celebrating that is important. So
Yes.
Well, and to me, the Mass Maritime thing that we do is so special,
Yes.
Phil, unmute. Phil, you're muted.
Phil?
Oh, Mark's gonna go help you. There we go.
Can you?
The difficulty of putting together the collaborative classrooms using extra classes that were at each different school district was a continual challenge, and to have a tour of the board to go to all the classes meant an all-day bus trip just to get to the other one to the other.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sure. I can even say last Tuesday, Dr. Woodward and I had a 9 o'clock meeting out in Provincetown. And it took me 2 hours from Mashpee to get there because there was an accident on 6 and paving in Wellfleet and fine. And then later that afternoon, I got on the ferry and went out to Nantucket. So it was a lot of travel in one day, and that it was great. It was an awesome day, but it's remarkable how widespread we are, and yet what a community we are.
Yeah.
So okay, great. The next thing, okay, so MOEC, our state organization, has put in a proposal for the joint conference for the fall, to talk about the history of collaboratives and what we offer to, and so Joanne Haley Sullivan, who is the executive director of MOEC, she asked me to be a part of it, which I'm going to be, but she wondered if one of our board members would be willing to participate on a panel as part of this proposal. So the proposal's linked in there. I don't need an answer today, but if you have any interest or willingness, interest might be too strong a word, but willingness to sit next to me and some other collaborative leaders, it's not just the Cape Cod Collaborative, we would love to have you. So I figured I would just put it on here as a first pass.
And when is the conference?
It's in November usually, right? The
Yeah.
joint conference,
Yeah.
it's it's usually at the golf place, but I don't, yeah, that just got sold, so I'd actually
sold again.
to Riverview.
Emerald Resort,
Right. Oh, that's right.
Steve, what?
Emerald Resort in Hyannis.
Yeah, is that still gonna be where it is this year?
I think so.
Okay,
I can't imagine I saw it was Hyannis, and I can't imagine where else in Hyannis they would do it.
true. So again, go ahead, Gia, sorry.
What's MOEC?
The Massachusetts Organization of Educational Collaboratives.
Thank
So it is, yeah, the state organization for us, sort of like you all have MASC.
you. Yep.
So if anyone wants to volunteer, then let me know. But otherwise it'll be on next month's agenda as well. Okay. Is it okay, or did we have to do a vote if I do the updates on the articles of agreement first and then go to program updates, or do you have to? Okay, just because then it's fast. You all saw that the articles of agreement were approved by the acting interim commissioner of education and secretary of education, who's the same person at this point. So as of July 1, Plymouth will be a full member. And so thank you all for your flexibility and support as we tried to get those signatures done in March. I really appreciate it. And it did in fact pay off. So, okay, program updates. So why don't we start with, let's start with Mr. Erickson over on Nantucket.
Hello there, everyone.
Hey,
My last week on Nantucket. I'm very excited to get back into the fold over on the mainland.
we miss you.
Thank you. I miss being there. I feel like I've missed a lot.
Oh.
You know, it seems like a lot of our meetings and a lot of our strategy sessions and everything, I'm driving or I'm on my way over here when we do our updates of the whole team. So looking forward to getting back to it. In any case, so we've got a lot of moving pieces right now with staff. Believe it or not, there's only a month to go, and we've got people leaving, people coming, people out. But it's actually it's a good thing. So I'm going to start with Mashpee and Bourne because they're very interrelated. So Mashpee, we had a driver who retired, and we've had a driver in Bourne who's relatively new. He's been there for about a month, who wants to be a Mashpee driver. So we've started training him over in Mashpee. At the same time, we have a Bourne driver who left to go to the USPS, and he called and said, "You know what? It's not working out for me. I want to come back."
Wow.
So these even swaps happen very often, which is great. You lose one, you gain one. If they stay one for one, that's a beautiful thing. We also had our two snowbirds come back. One is a full-time driver, one as a part-time driver. The part-time driver is just kind of getting started now, but again, with a month to go and a lot of people out for whatever reason, it's very helpful. But Mashpee and Bourne are in very good shape right now.
Good.
The other end of the Cape, not so much. Although Monomoy and Truro are very stable and have been for a couple of years. Nauset has two drivers who are out on leave. They both had medical issues, physical issues, where they were unable to continue for the rest of the year. We've had staff heading down there. We've had a lot of staff going in and out, covering all of those routes. I've been in Nantucket for the whole month because Heather, the other one who comes over here, pretty much has a route in Nauset right now. But they're getting it done. You know, as always, the staff, the spares, the trip drivers, they're all pitching in, they're all getting it done, which is terrific. I couldn't ask for a better staff or a more willing staff to drive down, to Truro, to drive down to, to any number of areas in Nauset and just pick up a route. So it's gone very well, although quite stressful.
Yeah.
Nantucket. So we have a new driver here, which is the reason it's my last week. He's been training for probably 3 months now. He used to work at the school here. Great guy. Last week he rode with me Thursday and Friday when I was over here. He's ready to go. He actually had a prior commitment for this week, and he starts next week. He'll fill in. It's gonna, really help us with the final month, the final push in Nantucket. We also hired a new monitor for Nantucket. Hope came over here with Lisa and with Troy to meet with the whole staff, along with the superintendent over here. And we had a monitor who was interested, so they hired her on the spot. She started the next day. She also wants to be a driver, so she very well may train this summer as a bus driver. And we have 2 other people who are interested in being bus drivers on Nantucket. So we've got a lot of activity with potential new drivers. We do have 1 in training right now over on the mainland. We're, as I said, we're in pretty good shape. We're really pushing the recruiting piece at this point. We need to get the people in here now so that they're ready for the fall. Small bus and 7D, relatively stable at this point, which is great. And we also had 2 new monitors. We have 2 new monitors also, sort of in the Osterville area. One is a new monitor. The other one is a return. And it's amazing how often we get people who leave and then they come back. So she's just started up again. She's a spare, but she wants route. So again, we're hoping to build depth in the monitor ranks as well. And again, as I said, we've got a good amount of activity going into the spring and summer, and that's really what we need. Generally some people may or may not come back at the end of the year, but that's why we always try to get some people in and get them trained over the summer. And we're looking forward to getting them on board and going into next fall with a full staff. That would be the plan.
Devin?
That is it. Thank you. Sorry, I know it went long, but there's a lot going on.
Devin has a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Thanks, Anders. So actually 2 questions. One is just, hearing on some of the success in gaining new applications for help and transportation on the island. Is there any lessons learned that you can apply elsewhere? Like I'm in Eastham, so Nauset's a concern directly. Any kind of lessons that we can apply there?
We're more or less doing the same things here. We're getting a little more of a push from the superintendent over here, who's really getting the word out. We did a lot of ads, both social media ads. We're doing social media ads everywhere now. But we did radio over here in Nantucket. It's been a lot of word of mouth over here. All the people that I've been working with for the last 3 months, they say they ask everybody they know. They tell everybody they know, it's a great place to work. It's a good job. It's good living. So that's really helping. I think, again, we've really tried to get the schools involved. And that's probably the lesson from this is, getting more involved with the folks in the Nauset school system to, spread the word for us and, to help us get it out there. We put some ads, particularly in Monomoy, everything that goes out to all those parents. We've got some sort of ad in there. And I think that's another thing that we can push going forward.
And so the other question about sort of engagement, is there a time of the year where you find that interest spikes or wanes, or is it pretty random?
It's pretty random. It comes and goes. We can have no one in the pipeline for 2 months. And then all of a sudden we get 5 or 6 people who call us up and say, okay, I've got my permit. I'm ready to train. We like to get people ready in the summertime because that gets us ready for the fall. So that's our big push, but it really is pretty random. We can either have 4 people in training or none. It doesn't seem to be just 1 or 2. It's kind of feast or famine. This is what I'm trying to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anders, I have a question. For extended school year, how many drivers do you still hang on to through the summer for ESY?
Well, we're not sure yet. It depends on how many we need, really. We put out something generally in May, late May or early June, asking if people want to work in the summer. And usually the people that want to work, we can get them work. Might not be exactly what they're looking for, but we've been pretty successful with that for the last 4 years or so that I've been here as far as getting people placed. For our programs, things are pretty much the same. We have the same routes, mostly the same kids, mostly the same drivers. There are an awful lot of other programs that don't run in the summer. So those drivers, we have to look for other things for. But definitely for our programs, it's pretty much the same. Just a shorter period of time, 4 weeks or 6 weeks, depending on what district.
Mary Rose has a question, then I'll go to you, Steve, okay? Go ahead, Mary Rose.
I was just wondering, for the full-time people, for the summer, if they're not working, do they get to collect unemployment?
They do not. They're not eligible working for the collaborative.
Thank you.
Which
Steve?
is one of our challenges, because most of the other private bus companies do offer that.
Like with teachers, they have a choice to either get paid year round or get paid during the school year. Does that get offered to the bus drivers, or can that not get offered? I don't know.
I don't think so, Troy.
They're paid on timesheets, and so it's hourly. So
okay.
it's not. No, it doesn't. work.
Okay, all right.
All right. Steve has been so patient.
They have benefits. So covered.
They do
No
continue
comment on that.
summer.
Yeah, the way we calculate.
Wait,
Sorry, Steve. Hold on. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah,
No,
that's
you
okay.
start.
No.
All right. I think you're good.
I'm good.
Okay.
Just a quick follow-up on Nauset for the 2 drivers who are out. Do we anticipate they will come back in the fall?
One, yes, definitely. The other, probably not. She was unsure whether they're going to come back this year. This may have been it for her. I'm not sure. She hasn't really talked about it yet, but the other one will definitely back. The other gentleman will definitely be back.
And Tina?
I just wanted to say that you said that you missed us, but I want to say you did an awful lot of work there. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been fun, but again, and it's been good being here, because the Nantucket folks, they don't really have a presence over here. They've been, just kind of, the forgotten souls. We do the best we can, but it's hard to, even when, even Hope will attest to this, even when you come over here, you try to find a time when you can meet with all of them, but they all have second jobs. A lot of them work at the schools as well, and there's no way to get the whole group together. But they do feel, they feel more a part of it now. Not so much me, but just everybody, Hope wanting to meet everyone, Lisa coming over on a more regular basis. It's hard to
I
do.
was on the 6:15 boat in the morning.
I know it's not easy, but yeah, I think things are going pretty well here. So
Good.
Yeah.
it stays that way.
I was just going to add, so Tuesday night I went over to Nantucket, went to their school committee meeting, and then I rode the buses on Wednesday, which was great because we have started monthly meetings, Anders, Lisa, and I, with Beth Hallett, who's the superintendent on Nantucket. And I think from those monthly meetings, we've already put in place things that have changed how things are going over there. We've gotten more interest because we posted the jobs in their very local papers, the Current, and that came from Beth. That was her idea. And then in addition, being able for me to see at dismissal at the high school, like, oh boy, I don't know how this is even functioning. So now I can help support that as we move forward. The other thing and other than just completely thanking Anders and Lisa and Andrea and Brianna and Shiloh and everyone who is in dispatch has been driving pretty much every day because we're so short.
Oh,
So thank you for that. We've also scheduled for the summer our August meetings. We used to only ever meet with Mashpee and Monomoy, I think, in the summers. And now, or maybe Nauset, I can't remember. Now we have a meeting scheduled for the Bourne drivers in August. Nantucket, we're going to go over to Nantucket for a meeting with them. Mashpee, Nauset, and Monomoy. They're all scheduled already, where the superintendent will be there, I will be there, the principals, assistant principals will all be there, and we can all start off the year on the same page. Which it just pays such dividends as you go down the line. So again, a lot about transportation tonight. Sorry about that, but they've done yeoman's work, that department.
I just want to say, Anders, it's so impressive to me what a team your department is.
exactly.
But for those dispatchers to go out and drive and for other districts to come in and cover for the other districts, it's incredible when I hear your report. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, it's everyone. Everyone's got the same thought process. Everyone in the office, what can I do? It is the most amazing thing.
So.
Just nobody's like, no, I don't want to. It's like, where do you want me to go? So it's been very impressive. Just the fact that everybody's willing to do whatever is necessary. Sometimes we leave the office very empty though, and that's
that's tough.
So why don't we go to Waypoint next? Dr. Woodward's going to fill in because Mr. Carroll is not here tonight.
Great. So we have posted for the Waypoint Academy Program Director. We are going to be beginning our interviews for that position as of tomorrow morning. So we'll certainly keep you posted as we go through that process. Today was the senior trip. We have 7 seniors, so they went on their trip it was actually to Skull Island, but it's right down the street. It was a walking field trip that they took. It's mini golf, ice cream, things and games like that. So they left just around 11:30 and had a very successful, enjoyable afternoon. The senior graduation ceremony will take place next week on May 20th, and that is their graduation ceremonies in which their families are invited. It will be at the Hearth and Kettle from 4 to 6. So each graduate gets to invite whichever members of their family that they would like and representatives from their local districts, and that's when they do receive their diplomas. So we're very excited for the seniors, and can't believe it's already this time of year.
Mm-hmm. It's just Waypoint is doing a fantastic job with a lot of uncertainty this year. So, and having 7 seniors is definitely changing our enrollment projections and so forth. So there's been a lot of work that's gone on. Star.
So this has been an unusual year as far as how referrals have come in. I think if you recall back in October, I said I had 14 all of a sudden come in. And then they trickled in throughout the year. And since I last was in a board meeting, there's 17 plus, and they keep coming. So since we last met, I brought in 3 students, 3 more starting on Monday. And then I might have to pause or the staff might all leave at the same time. So we have kids leaving coming up. So we're trying to get as many in to start. And then I'll have some starting the first day of ESY as well. So, it's been such an unusual year with referrals, but eye-opening as far as it sounds like maybe other places don't have openings or a lot of them. So something for us to continue to plan with. And I call it the game of human chess. Like just when you think you've got it figured out, somebody calls and says, hey, we're moving out of state, or, so it's always in and out, but it's been unusual. We had a family luncheon that went really well. We decided to make it a celebration of community helpers. So the fire department and police department came that day. Next year, we'd like to add other community helpers, but of course, the kids always love going out and seeing the trucks and the car and the sirens and, all of that. So it was great to have them. I think we had 4 Barnstable police officers and 2 Katuah, Osterville, Marston's Mills firefighters. So it's always great to have those guys come over. We're getting ready for summer, trying to plan some assemblies and fun things for the kids to do during the summer. And an update on the dog. The agency is hoping to come at the end of May with a couple of potential dogs to kind of see who does well in the environment and also learn what other additional training the dog will need to be here. The social worker and I have a Google Classroom training we have to go through, and then I will have to go out to Greenfield at some point as well. So we're hoping by the start of the school year that the dog will be out of school.
Can you just refresh my memory? Where's the dog going to be like at nighttime? And
Yeah, that's at my house.
That's at
My 2 other dogs don't know yet. Yeah, that'll be at my house. So.
Well, maybe when the 2 dogs come here, they need to go to your house afterwards to see who's going to be compatible.
Yeah, I know that is I will say I have 3 dogs at home as well. They're all rescues, but 2 are bloodhounds and one's like a hound mix. And I thought Bing Bong, the 18-month-old bloodhound, who's about 110 pounds. I was like, well, I'm going to get him trained too, and maybe not necessarily for Star, but like. He failed out of training. And not because it was mean or anything, he's just so disgustingly wet and enthusiastic. So I will bring Bing Bong in someday, but not for a while. So we are a dog-friendly environment for sure here. I talked about ASLP. We have a parent night scheduled for tomorrow night for the families to get a sense of. Oh, Chris is coming in. Okay, that's good timing. A sense of what is needed for the upcoming 2 weeks that their children will be coming. We have a lot of a really strong group coming in. And Chris Bogdan, the timing is perfect because it is now actually your update related to special projects. So I hope you were hoping to talk.
I was waiting for the text. I'm sorry.
Oh, for goodness. This work. That is a so hope pants come bad. My bad, my friend. Thanks for coming on.
Okay. And let's see. I am in person. Just to give you a quick update, we had the second session of the Stephen Gill workshop a week ago, or actually May 2nd. Went off very well, and just to recap, there were no charges to the member districts for participation in this workshop, and the collaborative made $5,000 plus. So it was a very successful workshop. Right now, the biggest thing going on with my end of the program is the collection of proposals for All Cape Day. And so we generally get about anywhere between 25 and 30 plus proposals. They are forwarded to me by content coordinators who are members of the districts in special content areas. This focuses on the non-core subject areas. So it is elective subject areas and support areas that the conference focuses on. And I have about 6 so far. Their deadline is the end of June. And so by then we should have about 30 proposals, and we will be spending the summer putting the program together so that it's available for teachers and districts at the start of school in September.
Nice.
Chris?
Was it worth the wait?
Yeah, actually, we weren't even waiting. It was literally you were next up, and I was like, oh, Chris is here. Anyway, sorry, Chris.
I will say Chris, Gwen and I met today for about 2 hours.
Sorry, Chris, I know you don't want a lot of attention, but Chris is retiring at the end of June. And so when he says we'll be doing the planning, he has left us in such great shape for planning All Cape Day and for virtual high school and all of the things that he's been involved in. We will miss him, but I think this is your second retirement, really. So
Second, third, who knows?
Maybe not the last.
No, exactly. The plan for Chris, I'm going to take on the role that Chris has played for 1 year. It's really in line with what I do anyway, and my areas of interest and expertise. Chris, like I said, has left us in really good shape. Our plan is the subsequent year to expand our professional development and therapy services in such a way that we hire a full-time person who can come in, and we'll talk about that a little bit more on another meeting, but we believe our strategic planning is going to propel us into that model for a year from now. So, but yeah, Chris has been a rock star since he came on board 8 years ago, and we will miss you. So thank you, Chris.
An old rock star.
Hey, look at Mick Jagger, right?
Yeah.
Come on.
Can't be that old.
Okay, so those are the program updates. Staffing updates, which we have every month, because you're going to need to vote on those. So you saw that in your packet.
Any questions about staffing updates? All right, entertain a motion to approve, accept the staffing updates as presented.
So moved.
I'll second.
Mary Rose seconded, Phil first.
Just to, you're talking about these persons.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, Andre?
Yes.
Maureen says yes. Steve?
Yes.
Mary Rose?
Yes.
Phil?
Yes.
Devin?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Laura?
No, she had to leave. Okay, yeah, sorry. Catherine?
Yes. Angina?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Melissa?
Yes.
Okay. Staffing updates are approved. Okay. Patrick?
Sure. I'm going to, as far as I'm concerned, the main event is the fiscal year 26 budget and trying to get that approved today. So I'd like to focus my time on that. This is the end of our budget season for fiscal year 26. But I know there are a lot of members who haven't been here a full year, haven't seen the cycle occur. So I just want to kind of give you a reminder or an update on what the budget season looks like for collaboratives. It starts in October. In October, we do a salary comp table for ourselves with our member districts for teachers and paraprofessionals. I share that with the board. We've been doing that for the last couple of years. We understand that there's been a catch-up effort that we've needed to make. That table is also shared with business managers and special ed directors through Dr. Woodward and our monthly or regional meetings. In November and December, there was a discussion about additional positions that were needed at both STAR and Waypoint. Those were the BCBA positions that we talked about and evaluated with the board. Those were approved. We've been able to add a BCBA at Waypoint very successfully, and we're interviewing to have somebody at STAR. Those updates, that decision was discussed with business managers and special ed directors. Also, Dr. Woodward obviously making that case to both special ed directors and business managers very well. And given the size of our programs, they understood the impact on our tuition rate. In the January-February timeframe, we benchmarked our driver salaries against new contracts, transportation contracts from private vendors that were opened in Falmouth, Sandwich, and actually Plymouth. That information gave us the guidance that we needed to continue along the path of increasing our driver rates by $1 an hour. That's for CDL drivers, van drivers, and monitors. That information was shared with special ed directors and basically business managers. I'm not sure the special ed directors cared about that as well. Also in January and February, we talked with districts and ourselves around capital forecasts. It's really the time when we need to make sure we understand what type of additions to our fleet of buses are needed, and we were able to make those determinations. And as you also know, we needed to move forward on our boiler replacement project over at Waypoint. Those decisions were made in the January-February timeframe. March is always when we send out the request for commitments to Waypoint from districts, and we had a lot of discussions with special ed directors on that and what that means going forward. That's really how we begin to make revenue estimates. It's really based upon our student enrollment estimates, and we thanks to Dr. Woodward and Julia Bryant, we really spent a lot of time thinking about our student enrollment forecast for next year and just really trying to hit the mark on those. We were at the same time, we were also reviewing our ability to add and provide therapy services at that time of year. So in determining whether or not we could, should or could bring on additional therapists and whether or not we could build those folks out. That same time, we benchmarked our tuitions against other collaboratives. We had other collaboratives, we had identified their tuitions and service rates a bit earlier than us. But we were able to benchmark those tuitions and share those with the board, shared where we stand against other collaboratives. In March, we did a first presentation of tuition rates to the board. We also keep sharing this information with special ed directors and business managers. April, you all thankfully approved tuitions and service rates, and that's how we drive the revenue side of this equation. So we have to make the revenue forecasts, and then we see how we make the expenses match up to those revenues, and vice versa. So that's the process. It's ended with a budget that you all have received, and we reviewed it last month, and now again this month. The total expenditures for the budget, including capital, is $21,471,134. The capital component of that is about $1.8 million. When I looked at the notes from last year, the increases in COLAs, the increases in overall tuition rates, the recommendation of supplementing the spending plan and the statutory budget with some cumulative surplus up to $325,000. We didn't intend this to be exactly the same as last year, but it really did repeat everything, even though we went through the entire analysis all year long. But the ending result was very similar to last year's recommendations. So on percentage basis and how we're going to use it. So with that, I'm open to having any questions. Either through this, some of the board members have met with me in the past, and I'm always open to those kind of discussions just to learn about these processes, because collaboratives are different, very different than the school districts that you also cover. So with that, I'm going to pause.
And Gina, you have a question?
What's crosswalk?
This one.
I'm not sure what you're looking
So
at.
a crosswalk is where you take
Just
one
in general.
piece of information and you compare it to the other piece of information. It's a crosswalk. You look
Okay,
at
got it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's in the budget, so I just was wondering what it was.
No,
Got it.
that's a great question.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All those many line items? Thank you for that recap.
There's something called garden party or something like that. I was wondering what that was.
I'm sure that's
Garden party?
No. Garden Party
Oh.
Incorporated.
we we
was curious.
we spend money on porta potties for our bus drivers.
Oh,
Oh, yes.
Okay, good to know. Okay.
That's true. That may not be the exact.
Okay, thank you.
That's hilarious.
Hold on.
Terry?
I've worked with Patrick in another district, and his work is impeccable. I just have to say, the thing that was always brilliant that I liked about Patrick's is he would take time to explain things like in a small group setting to you so you understand, because balance sheets and all that stuff is, so I always appreciate. So if anybody had a question, I'm sure Patrick could answer it wonderfully. Okay.
And responds quickly to emails too. Let me tell you. Never be afraid. If you don't want to speak out at a public meeting, feel free to email him, no matter with your question. And he starts off by saying, "That's a great question. I'm glad you asked it."
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm going to share some compliments across the board. The region has been fortunate to have some really solid business managers across the board and interim business managers across the board who've been involved with our regional meetings, and they stay in touch with us. And I learn from them, and they don't hesitate to ask me tough questions. And I'm just gonna throw one out. Jordan Geist up in Bourne, who's one of our transportation clients. He was pushing back on driver rates and things like that. I was like, okay, I'll do the research. Let's find out. And then once I shared the information, he goes, okay, I get it.
Jordan Geist was a former student of mine. I kid you not.
He told me that, Terry. He told me that.
He did?
Yes.
Huh. Yes.
And I will tell you, he's so thorough. I'm on the budget sub and facilities with him, and he said he's always offering us a tour of the wastewater treatment plant. So before I get off the committee, I'm going, so last month, myself and another member took a tour, and he said they're taking selfies in there. I said, well, now I know what goes on in that building. All right. So thank you, Patrick. Thank you for your work. Thank you for your ongoing crosswalking. And we certainly appreciate your input for sure. So I will entertain a motion to approve the FY26 budget. So moved.
Second.
Okay, then moved and seconded. Mary Rose and Phil. Thank you. Yeah. All right, Andre?
Yes.
Maureen says yes. Steve?
Yes.
Mary Rose?
Yes.
Phil?
Yes.
Devin?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Catherine?
Yes.
And Dina?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Melissa?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. All right. We got money flowing.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We're going to talk about warrants 39 through 43. Were there any questions about them before we vote to bundle? Anyone have any questions about those warrants?
Now that I know what God's body is, I'm fine.
All right, I'll take a motion to bundle those 5 warrants, please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, and Gina seconded. So this is a vote to bundle. Andre?
Yes.
Maureen says yes. Steve?
Yes.
Mary Rose?
Yes.
Phil?
Also, yes.
Thank you. Devin?
Yeah.
Terry?
Yes.
Catherine?
Yes.
And Gina?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Melissa?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so we're voting to bundle. So now we're going to vote to approve warrants 39 to 43 in one vote. I'll entertain a motion to do that.
So moved.
Second,
Second by Phil. Andre?
Yes.
Maureen, yes. Steve?
Yes.
Mary Rose?
Yes.
Phil?
yes.
Devin?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Catherine?
Yes.
And Gina?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Melissa?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Transportation contract for Truro?
Yes, the superintendent down in Truro, Stephanie Costigan, asked us to update the contract to continue from fiscal year July of 25 to June of 27. So we did that in order to continue moving forward with this as of July. We need your vote. But they asked for that.
Any questions? Great. I'll entertain a motion to approve Truro's transportation contract.
So move, Phil Morris.
Second,
I'll second.
Mary Rose is second. Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve Truro's transportation contract from July 25 through June 27. Andre?
Yes.
Maureen says yes. Steve?
Yes.
Mary Rose?
Yes.
Phil?
Yes.
Devin?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Catherine?
Yes.
And Gina?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Melissa?
Yes.
All right, it passes. All right, the OPEB charge off.
Sure, the OPEB charge off is something we do once a year. It is just our process of covering our retirees, the employer's component of our retiree health insurance out of our operating budget. The amount this year is $31,332.76. It went up very, very slightly from last year, which was about $27,000. And we do this instead of taking that money from the OPEB trust.
I so move.
Gina?
I'll second, but can you just?
Yep.
We take that money from our budget and does that and leave OPEB what we have in the trust alone? Okay.
That's exactly right.
All right, been moved and seconded. Andre?
Yes.
Maureen says yes. Steve?
Yes.
Mary Rose?
Yes.
Phil?
Yes.
Devin?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Catherine?
Yes.
And Gina?
Yes.
Tyler? Are you still with us? Go to Melissa.
Yes.
All right. Okay, that passes.
Thank you. And then the final is just an update and within sort of a preview of a vote we're going to take in June for vehicle financing. As I mentioned, we make decisions about what vehicles we need. We in January, February, we inform the board of that. We create purchase orders in get quotes on those vehicles, and then we have to get financing on those vehicles. It's a very long process to actually acquire the vehicles, but we did lock in a rate, which I was very pleased with, the PD equipment financing for 4.04%. We're going to have loan agreements that will need the board to approve at the June meeting, so that we can close on the loan and pay for these buses in the August timeframe, when the board is not meeting. So that's just an update. We do not have to do anything else today.
Great.
All right, new business. The meeting schedule.
Yep, so you have, we're looking for a vote for the board of directors meeting schedule for FY26. What I did for the draft of it was just look at the meetings of this year, but then I also took the ones, I couldn't get them to not match all of your school committees. There's just too many, but I tried to avoid as many as possible. And so it's that second Wednesday of the month across the board. That's what's in front of you today.
I so move.
Okay, second?
I'll second.
All right, and moved and seconded to approve the FY26 meeting schedule. Andre?
Yes.
Maureen, yes. Steve?
Yes.
Mary Rose?
Yes.
Phil?
Yes.
Devin?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Catherine?
Yes.
And Dina?
Yes.
Tyler? Melissa?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then the treasurer's evaluation.
So one of the requirements in the articles of agreement and also just in the regs is that the board has to annually evaluate the treasurer. If you go back to that org chart, you can see the treasurer pops off of you all. So what we did for Mr. Friel is he wasn't able to be here tonight. And so we crafted a draft for him and you all to consider. I sent it to him in advance and he responded. If it's okay, I'll just read the email that he sent in response. He said, "Thank you for your detailed and instructive evaluation. I am fortunate to be a part of a great finance team. Please know my oversight role on behalf of the board would not be possible without the professional assistance of the entire finance and administrative teams. Looking forward to another successful year." So as part of, so he was pleased with his evaluation with the draft that we proposed. So it's now on the board to vote to accept this as your evaluation for the treasurer or not. If you do accept it, sorry, I just went and printed it because Maureen will need to sign it on behalf of you all. Oh, good, thank you.
Any discussion?
Vote to approve.
Was that you, Phil?
Yeah.
I'll second and then discussion.
Okay.
When you got twos, those are like.
That's great. Choose where you want to be.
Well, he got a number of threes.
He's
really
exceptional.
Good. Yeah, and I just think I'm more like just part of the job kind of stuff is what I got out of that. Okay.
So on the teacher's rubric,
yeah.
Oh yeah, Catherine, you would know. The teacher's rubric, there's unsatisfactory, needs improvement, proficient, and exemplary.
Yeah.
Twos are proficient, and that's where we all want to be. So I'm glad you brought that up because that was a discussion we actually had internally as well. He's fantastic.
Yes, that's why.
Thank you for bringing that up.
He's at all of our meetings
Yeah.
and he can answer questions, and as it was explained to me, he's like a check and balance for us against.
Yes.
All right, so it's been moved and seconded. We'll go to the vote to approve the evaluation for our treasurer. Andre?
Yes.
Oh, Mark, go ahead.
1 second.
I'm just going to come over here because
Oh,
it's going to echo in the room. Just for consideration by the board, take it or leave it. Since this is such a big board, when considering evaluations like this for staff that the board's responsible for evaluating, perhaps considering in the future like a subcommittee that would be responsible, like a smaller group of this larger group that would take on the responsibility of evaluating the folks that would then bring it forward, because it is such a big task. And like to have, I think the full board is what, like 17 or 18 folks, right? So a smaller group that potentially could take on the task of evaluation, and then that would be a meaningful way for those folks to engage with the staff that does need to be evaluated by the board. So just a thought for consideration for those of us that get evaluated by boards. Like,
Thanks, Mark.
I'll have to remember that.
All right, we'll go to the vote then. Andre?
Yes.
Maureen says yes. Steve?
Yes.
Mary Rose?
Yes.
Phil?
A very positive yes.
Devin?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Catherine?
Yes.
And Gina?
Yes.
Melissa?
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Anything else? All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Okay, been moved and seconded. Everyone give a wave. Thank you all again. I wish
Bye,
you could smell
love.
these flowers. They are beautiful. And good luck in the future. I'll be reading the website and reading
Bye.
what's happening here. Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.